Hi everybody and welcome back to Base Camp. Today we are going to be looking at John chapter 9 verses 1 through 12. This is the story of the man who was born blind. John chapter 9 verses 1 through 12. As Jesus was walking along, he saw a man who had been blind from birth. Rabbi, his disciples asked him, "Why was this man born blind? Was it because of his own sins or his parents' sins?" "It was not because of his sins or his parents' sins," Jesus answered. "This happened so that the power of God could be seen in him. We must quickly carry out the tasks assigned to us by the one who sent us. The night is coming, and then no one can work. But while I am here in the world, I am the light of the world." Then he spit on the ground, made mud with the saliva, and spread the mud over the blind man's eyes. He told him, "Go, wash yourself in the pool of Siloam." Siloam means sent. So the man went and washed and came back seeing. His neighbors and others who knew him as a blind beggar asked each other, "Isn't this the man who used to sit and beg?" Some said he was, and others said, "No, he just looks like him." But the beggar kept saying, "Yes, I am the one." They asked, "Who healed you? What happened?" He told them, "The man they called Jesus made mud and spread it over my eyes, and told me, 'Go to the pool of Siloam and wash yourself.' So I went and washed, and now I can see." "Where is he now?" they asked. "I do not know." And that's John chapter 9, verses 1 through 12. There is this ideal that was prevalent in Jesus' day and still persists to this day in some churches, that God punishes the children for the sins of the parents. This is coming primarily one in Jesus' day, and even in the modern day in some churches, there was a belief that God punishes the children for the sins of the parents. One of the places that people draw on to proof text this is Numbers chapter 14 verse 18, where it says, "The Lord is slow to anger and filled with unfailing love, forgiving every kind of sin and rebellion, but he does not excuse the guilt. He lays the sins of the parents upon their children. The entire family is affected, even children in the third and fourth generations." So, I mean, there's a lot of debate on what exactly this is talking about. Some would say this is a generational curse because when people live a sinful life, like alcoholism is a good example, that runs in families. Criminal behavior runs in families. So there is a case to be made that for the natural consequences of certain lifestyle choices. Yet there are other places in the Bible that make it clear that individuals are responsible for their own sins. For example, Ezekiel chapter 18 verse 20, where it says, "These persons who sin," pick up here. "The person who sins is the one who will die. The child will not be punished for the parent's sins, and the parent will not be punished for the child's sins. Righteous people will be rewarded for their own righteous behavior, and wicked people will be punished for their own wickedness." So we are each responsible for our own choices in this life. That doesn't mean that there are no natural consequences that spring up from our behaviors. If you choose to drink alcohol, have a fatty diet, yeah, there may be consequences to those choices that come from just natural consequences. But that doesn't mean that God is punishing you. If you have a child that is born with a disability, it does not mean that God is automatically punishing you for something, or them. It could be just the unfortunate realities of living in a fallen world. Sometimes bad things happen, and it's not that anybody did anything wrong. It just is, unfortunately. And Jesus reiterates this in John chapter 9, verse 3. There he states that this happened to show God's power and glory. And it really did. As you look further, both the local neighbors of this individual, who probably watched this individual beg for years and years and years, saw that God healed him. And even the Pharisees and Sadducees, the religious leaders of Jesus' day, acknowledged that God healed him, even though they did not want to acknowledge that Jesus was the one who did it, and that God's power worked through Jesus. So, all that to say this: if you have a disability, or if your child has a disability, God is not necessarily punishing you. It may be nothing that you did wrong. It's just a fact of the fallen world that we live in. And while, yes, sometimes certain behaviors can lead to disabilities, for example, if a parent drinks excessive alcohol or does drugs or something like that while they're pregnant, yeah, that can have an effect on the baby. But that is not God punishing you. That is just the natural outgrowth of the choices you've made. And sometimes disabilities happen for no reason at all. It just is a fallen, broken world that we live in, and we have to live with the consequences of the world we live in. And God will walk with you through that time if you'll let Him. And He will help you and your child if you will let Him. It may not be perfect, and God may not heal. Sometimes He does, sometimes He doesn't. But God can still bring something good, even out of the worst situations. And we may not always see it this side of eternity. But if you allow Him, He will bring glory and honor to His name through your struggles. And He will walk with you. Maybe not take it away, but He will walk with you if you allow Him. So, I hope that helps. And we'll see you next time, and God bless.